Hello, welcome to episode 19. Did a little bit of work. I went up a little further with the walls. I might go up a little higher with the towers. I'm not sure. Or just cap them and leave them like this. I don't really have an itinerary. I'm just gonna keep going, like putting stuff on, see how it goes. I know last video I kept bouncing around, either putting the floor down here or making a courtyard. I think I'm gonna make it a courtyard and maybe put, like I said before, side buildings. I want to make a ledge here. This wall be a ledge, like something that you can walk around, maybe. And then I might make a floor up top here that's maybe 5-6 blocks wide that can walk around the perimeter. You know, like to observe underneath there. But I still think I'm going to do a tree with pathways that come from there into here. And maybe this area that's already low for me, I might get a pond. Maybe. We'll see. And then I'll put my bed in somewhere that has a bed, you know, and a few little random things. But pretty much, eventually, I'm going to dig out underneath. My slime chunks there. The iron farm's right there. So I might dig this side underneath here. I'll have to do some math on how far down I need a slime chunk if my storage area is under the base here. But I'll make like a bump out where this water is on each side. You know, make it nice looking in there, and then have a staircase or maybe just a ladder to get down to my storage. And then I might make somewhere in here a decent looking portal, you know, somewhere inside here I'll include it in. Obviously, after I move that, I'll have to move it a little bit in another. Even out here, I want to make sure it's important that I keep portals aligned. Because you never know how many might add in this area. But I probably put something like a wall. Maybe just polished deep slate wall up there. Maybe look up a video on how to make it look like a cannon. Couple cannons on all four corners. I should set it up with dispensers so I can shoot like flame things. You know, things, what do they call them? You get from pigment bartering. You can craft those things too, I think. It would just be for looks, so anyway. So I went up to about 95 with the towers. I lost count with this stuff, how high it was. I'll make sure it is even eventually. Let's go see what the string looks like. Yeah, I'm getting no cats. I got a few, looks like at the beginning. They might be trapped in there with the beds. I don't really know. I'm not sure if it's because of double stacking the beds, where they just get trapped, or if it's... But I seem to do better with it when they're in the air. Man, it's already kind of, what is that, about 10 o'clock? These stairs confused me on the other one, on the other side. I kept getting these corners wrong. Stairs, I hate them. It's because I can't understand them. I think we put one here. Go around a corner. This one there. There. The other one, I must have placed a whole stack of stairs just trying to figure this out. Oh, that's not right. We need it to turn this way. There we go. You know, the sheep, if you got them in a normal boat, they'll eat. Is it just because that bamboo boat is a little bit higher? Strange. Oh, there we go. There we go with this again. I got my OBS set up to be able to record Java. I've already recorded a video a little bit, but I didn't realize one of my hotkeys was I don't remember what it was. Was it a U or something? Or so when I named the world, my hotkey, one of the letters was set to stop recording. I should have made it where it was shift and then a hotkey, but I just picked like Alt and I, or I don't remember. So OBS stopped recording when I named the world. And I had already got copper iron, copper gear. I think, well, I got a shield and a bucket. I found a village, which was a sorry excuse for a village. It only had one villager and 2 buildings, and no golem. I had a pretty decent start too, because I had gotten what I needed for a bed within, like, I'd say 3 or 4 minutes. Which the other time I've done Java, it took a little longer for me to even get an animal spawn. But I'll be honest, that's the first time I started a Java world in normal. I was still very uncomfortable with the keyboard. I had a hard time. It's going to be interesting if I do decide to take on a Java series. I really wish Java would add the mouse and the controller as a normal feature, just like Bedrock does. Because I get it. It's a computer. People use mouse keyboards. Mouse keyboards better, but not everybody likes it. And that function should be a normal function, even with having like Windows or a computer. You can still use a controller on a computer, which is what I'm doing right now. And I remember when I used to play a game called Duke Nukem. Even back then, you can hook up a controller. I played mostly on keyboard. I don't think a mouse was involved as much in Duke Nukem. But you could still set it up. You'd have to program all the keys and stuff like that. But you can still set up a controller for Duke Nukem, which means you could have set up a controller for Doom also, because Doom was basically the same people who made Duke Nukem. I think Doom came out first. Or it was the same type kind of game. Duke Nukem was a little better. I spent hours and hours and hours playing that game. I think that was maybe the early 90s. I don't remember what years Duke Nukem came out, but there were like 4 or 5 different ones. It was a pretty fun game. Anyway, the offhand's pretty cool. Bedrock's pretty good game, and Java has a lot of good features. There's some things missing on Java that I wish they'd add, and there's some things missing on Bedrock that I wish they'd add. I guess there's plenty of people still wanting to play on mobile, but I still think that they could set up and give us, that don't look too bad. I decided not to go narrow with the towers. This is good. There's still things they could do, I think, to improve the Bedrock. And there's also some things I think they can do to improve Java. I like seeing they had Trident killers too. Java, without messing up their pistons. Maybe they added a second set of pistons, a different crafting recipe that makes 2 different type pistons, and give us that feature too. What is it, quasi mechanics or whatever they call it? You know, like, don't remove good features like they've been doing. I don't know. You never know. Java may not want any of our features. But I imagine if they got a hold of Trident killers eventually, they'd like it. I don't want their combat, so I guess not everything I want. Um, but I seen a short. I don't remember the guy's name, but he had like 101 differences. One of the differences he was showing was uh, you can place torches underwater. They don't stay; they break immediately. I didn't know that one. Uh, you know, you could use that for if you need to breathe. I know they have that. I've seen it where I think you can use the bucket of water or a bucket underwater and it creates an air bubble, which almost makes sense. Oh, I sure would like to have that feature. Especially since drinking milk like a monument in Bedrock, it does absolutely nothing. When the Elder Guardian keeps giving you fatigue, it's literally like 2 or 3 seconds. Not even really enough time to mine a block. Maybe once in a while. Well, I've already said all this, but like we can't use doors, to underwater breathing, which seems unrealistic, but everything we put underwater is immediately waterlogged. I guess on the other hand, we can waterlog things. But I've seen farms where they use trapdoor to hold water. I don't remember if it was I don't know, moss farm. Like, what's that green block you get from a lush cave? And I think you can use it to make a bone meal farm or something. Um, I know we got other ways to do it, but sometimes all the workarounds that we need in Bedrock does get to be a little irritating. Like, look how much more complicated our flying machines are than theirs. You have to, like, slide them aside to get it to go in reverse. Do weird things with them, make them more bulkier to get them to function properly. And the return station and descend station is much more complicated. Yeah. I mean, we still can do pretty much whatever are some of the things they can do. It's just things are sometimes just extra, you know? I don't know. Just my thoughts about it. I like both games. If they had controller on Java, I would probably play Java a lot more. Maybe not a lot more in Bedrock, because I still like some of the Bedrock stuff better. The addition of the Trident killers, example, Bone Mill Farm. I'm sure they got their own, meta for stuff like that, but man, you can make use of so much double mob caps or dual density mob farms with Trident killers, without having to sit there and using sweeping edge or anything. But I remember a video of a mob farm quite a few years ago for Java, and they were just dropping them and letting them die. I don't think Bedrock you get as many drops when they die, basically of natural falling. So I don't know if that mechanism or mechanic in Java is way different than ours or what. But I would like to learn some of the difference. I used to have a Java world for a little while, and I just got so sick of the mouse keyboard. I didn't play it that often. I'm not that good at it, you know. I prefer playing normal, and Java, I really wasn't comfortable enough with it to play in normal. So I spent a lot of time in peaceful on Java. But it's kind of fun to me to learn their mechanics and iron farm mechanics, and I was trying out farms that worked in Bedrock that I had an idea that probably did not work. Some of them did, and some of them did in Java. Or some of them did, and some of them didn't. There was a kelp farm I used to use. When I tried building a version of that in Java, the kelp kept growing taller than what the water was, so it kept messing up my water flow. I guess I'm working through the night. Yeah, it kept messing up my water flow, like, because in Bedrock, the kelp won't grow beyond the water. But in Java, it seemed to grow higher than the water and mess up my water flow. I was like, okay, that's pretty neat. That's cool. How do I fix this? I think I had to raise the water level a lot more. I got the farm working, but I don't know what happened, like in an update. My chat stopped working in Bedrock. And with the ROG, when you're playing at mobile, like, you don't have an actual keyboard to type with. You have the soft keyboard. And every time I opened it, it kept locking up the game, freezing the game, and making it basically shut down and reboot. And eventually, it told me or warned me that I needed to do a restore or something, a restore or whatever. And then it wouldn't even work. I had to do basically a factory reset or whatever you call it on there. And I lost all my worlds. My Redstone world, you know, the most recent world of my old realm, I lost that. There was quite a bit of progress lost. The solo worlds I had, I lost. And I also lost my 4 Java worlds I think I had. Yeah. Which I was a little irritated about Java 1. Because it took me much longer to get any progress done. Because things are a lot different to me. And the mouse and keyboard kind of slowed me down. And also, like, I was going for the Netherite template Java. I had gotten it, and I fell in a 1-block hole straight into lava. I had pretty well good enchantments on my armor. Sweeping edge sword, and I'm like, I lost everything. So I ended up logging off, and I didn't go back onto that world for about 4 months. And then I got my enchantments back and all that. I never did end up going back to the Nether to see if there was another netherite template. And I didn't really find a whole lot of netherite there anyway. So I would have still had to have done that. I never really looked up how much different their generation is for ancient debris. I just know that their nether seems to be a little bit more chaotic, even down low. Where ours, you can expect, at level 15, just minor 1-block lava. And if you dig too far up, you're gonna hit lava and bedrock. But theirs is more random, more sporadic, I guess, more realistic. So I believe that their stuff is harder to get ancient debris in Java. So there's quite a few things I'd have to relearn. I learned how to do the pearl stasis chamber thing, or where you can load a spawn chunk, or load a chunk, I mean, to keep a chunk running. I wish they would add to Bedrock that the spawn chunks are always running, because I did have a iron farm built there, and iron farms without a zombie, you have to have 5 villagers in Java. They have to have slept. I think they've had to gossip, and probably worked at the workstation, right? So their iron farms are a little different, and also the way the golem spawns a little different. Like if they spawn in next to a wall or 1 block, they suffocate. So your water streams, you had to use like a fence post for a wall, because they would just suffocate. But and without the zombie, they're not going to spawn golem with just 3. And without the zombie, they're not going to spawn golem at night. But with 5, you can spawn a golem. You got mobs. But you had to sleep all the time, because you spent, especially if you're just wandering around peaceful, sleeping ain't a big deal, and you forget to. Oh, how do I get to my bed? Where's my bed? I buried it? Why would I do that? Dude, where the heck is my bed? Oh, I'm on the wrong side. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah, I don't mind playing a different version of Minecraft. I don't mind saying what is good and, a feature that's better or about the version that I don't prefer. Java's got some good stuff. The offhand, Hi, buddy. The shield's definitely better. I don't have to squat. Cooldown thing sucks. For combat. And I said 1.18. It's actually 1.7 and 1.8 or 1.9, somewhere around there. Because when they added the combat. See, maybe I'll make this wall here something. Wasn't sure what I'm going to do with this. I might make this higher. More grand, maybe 5 blocks wide. So I'm done with. I don't know what I'm going to do with this yet. I might raise it up to that height, make it more grand, and 5 blocks. And then put pathways, using probably coarse dirt, mixture of gravel, coarse dirt, and then pathway. And find something right around center. I don't know if it's going to be a fountain or a tree. I'm not really good at that kind of stuff. Probably not, because I want to do a water feature here. Maybe add some fish. But I think the width of this to here, I'm going to build like a balcony going all the way across. Yeah. And then fake supports going up, maybe. And this might be a good spot to dig out here. I have to mark center. I don't even know how many blocks long this is. But I'm figuring somewhere around here underneath me be my storage room. And my slime chunks right here. Like from here, right here, to here. These blocks are off a little bit, I think, but here. And I must have removed. Yeah, I did. I removed another rack. But it's basically the right block of the portal happens to be on a corner of a chunk. So this is the next chunk. I don't know. I'd have to get markers pack on to make sure. Yeah, I think that opening needs to be more grand. Either 5 or 7 blocks. And then make it stick out proud on the side. and then put a road or something that resembles a drawbridge laying down. You know how castle will have something that pulls up in case they're attacked. I think for the rest of this, I'm going to put it on hold and do a little here and there on other videos. I think my next video, though, I'm going to start on the storage room, because this over here, this just tossing these in the chest isn't working for me. It's just going to be more stuff I'm going to have to move. And I still got plenty of stuff to move from my original location. Thumbs up, subscribe if you liked the video. If you didn't like the video, then don't do either. That's fine too.